Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman by heading over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Hey everyone!
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast! The show where we get hyped about stuff
Hype.
and things.
Hypecast.
Hype. I'm your co-host, Tom Ryman.
I'm the other one, David Bell.
And who are you?
I'm Katie Goldin. That's
Hi.
me. There was a pause there where I was trying to think, who am I?
Who am I?
Who am I? I've
Who
never
are
been
any of us?
asked.
Yeah.
No one's ever asked me
yeah.
before.
I am the host of Creature Feature. I also do pro bird rights on
Yeah.
Sure do.
Twitter.
God damn it, that fucking bird.
That
That's like the... I think we've probably had this conversation before, but that's like you picked the perfect looking bird.
is my favorite. It's been my favorite species of bird. It's a European robin. People tell me over and over again. I know. Well, people tell me over and over again, like, "Oh, that's not an American robin. That's a European robin." Like, I know. Calm down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your point?
Calm the hell down.
But yeah, it is. It's like what I like about that bird is they're aggressively puffy. Like they floof out and then they just have the angriest little, most spiteful face.
It looks like he's daring you to notice
Yeah.
how fluffy he is.
They have like a built-in frown and an like just like I'm angry.
Never better say anything about my weight.
They sound exactly like Kermit from South Park.
Yeah, I assume you saw the drawing someone did of taking a Tyrannosaurus skeleton and realizing like it can fit perfectly into a puffy bird.
Yeah.
And then, putting that in Jurassic Park.
I mean, chickens are direct descendants of T-Rexes.
Yeah, like
could
if you compare like what was it, like a penguin skeleton or something, where it's like if you look at dinosaur skeletons, like we're assuming that they're just like
they're
it's
terrifying.
just they're
That's
wearing
called
like bodysuits.
Yeah, that's called shrink wrapping. It's actually a problem in sort of reconstructing these fossil records. And some artist did this really fun, interesting thing where he
I saw that.
Yeah. So like taking like a swan skeleton and different kinds of skeletons and like shrink wrapping it. So the swan just looks like this horrible monster with like blades for arms. Because if you like take a swan and just kind of like, I mean, I've never seen a swan without its feathers, but I imagine it would look a little bit similar to the drawing. But also, it's just like there's more meat and fat. And like in our reconstructions of the dinosaurs, we don't know where their fat deposits are necessarily going to be. Like you can kind of make some guesses, I think, like bone density may have some clues for that, but not perfect. So it's like... so we don't, and it's not like with humans, like when we reconstruct a face from like a skull, like we know generally what a human face looks like.
Yeah.
We don't
have
know.
good references for that.
So like, I just love the idea that T-Rexes are giant chickens.
Just a big poofy bird
And
thing.
it's
God, I
actually pretty likely. I mean, there's fossil evidence of feathers, like these mites that would be found in feathers. And I'm not sure if the T-Rex has had those, but raptors certainly have.
I think it's
All
I think they
angry
generally
birds just yelling at each other.
I think they just generally assume that they all probably had plumage.
Just giant, like
They all just act like
God,
birds. They just stare blankly and like.
I really want someone who's good at graphic design and like really good at 3D to go do just take the old Jurassic Park movie, the original, and replace all of the dinosaurs with bird versions of the dinosaurs. Really fluffy, cute, like cockatiels. And
That'd be so great.
that'd be great.
Yeah, because you don't know. Maybe T-Rex had a glorious little frill.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, if you look at like emus, ostriches, and cassowary.
Cassowary.
Yeah, that's probably pretty close. to like raptors.
Very floofy.
Yeah, very floofs.
Yeah. We should just keep talking about this.
We should.
Birds.
Now the one drawing I saw that guy did was like I think a big cat, like a tiger or something, and it looked like a fucking demon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you see
ribs
any hairless
showing.
cat. It's
I
just
mean-
like, yeah, that's.
I mean, think of all the dinosaur
Terrifying.
drawings you've seen. Like their cheeks are kind of like very rangy and like.
Yeah, they're like skin and bones.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
like imagine a T-Rex with full cheeks.
Oh.
A jowly T-Rex.
Well, very short.
Just imagine a T-Rex dipping a cigar into a glass of brandy.
Imagine going back in time, discovering they're all like chubby birds, and
Yeah.
then getting murdered by
Yeah.
them, because that would be
T-Rex.
the next thing that would happen.
Talking about his railroad investments.
And it's like stocks and bonds.
Put the money into steel.
Would you like some of my beans?
My bean.
We were talking about Howard Schultz and his
We were.
magical beans.
He's the bean ruler. The
bean
bean
tycoon.
king.
Oh,
Sorry,
Titan of bean
All right.
industry.
let's move on to
The actual trailers.
slightly less upsetting things, which is the Aladdin trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean,
I've seen some pushback. I
Yeah.
forget who I was talking to. Someone who's just like, "What's wrong with him? He's just blue." Like what? And like, you know, because the Robin Williams genie is so amazing. It's like, but the difference is, I think, is that in the original Aladdin, the Robin Williams genie didn't look like
Robin
just
Williams.
Robin Williams.
right. So there
Like
two
hairy
things,
chest, blue.
That would have been incredible.
There were two things I thought they were going to do. One was just have Will Smith as himself, dressed kind of as a genie, which now
Right.
that I'm saying it out loud,
Those were the
sounds very bad.
those were the first
But,
pictures that came out.
Right. And so kind of campy, but still, you know, like then he'd be acting.
Yeah.
And the other version was like a mocap, like cartoonish version that Will Smith mocaps and voices, but it's like a kind of cartoony
that would have been
3D thing.
the smart idea.
And
I
that
think.
either of those I think would have actually worked. Like
Yeah.
either just him because like you can just have a live action dude like who's magical and disappears and turns into smoke. And
that
you
would
could have-
be kind of cool. Yeah,
Right.
and he can pass for just a regular person.
Right. But instead they chose
A horrible amalgam of the
it's
two.
not look, I think the important thing is it's not that he's blue. It's that his face is swimming in a sea of blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is very disconcerting.
It also seems like there's something wrong with him.
I-
He's
Right.
not moving right.
I think
in
it.
that
I think
clip.
it's total. I think it's mocap.
Right.
Yeah.
But they mocapped him onto a CGI version of himself, which is
I know. It's very
not
unsettling.
cool. It's like it's
Polar
so
Express
it's
is-
like it's in the deepest Mariana Trench of the Uncanny
Uncanny Valley.
Valley.
Yes.
It's like just not good.
But that's the scary part of the Uncanny Valley is to get past it. You first hit like the
Right.
deepest point,
Right.
and they did not get over that.
No,
hump.
they
Like,
didn't. They seem to just like they're like I am become death and just create like this seems intentionally scary.
Yeah. It.
I know it's not, but it feel. I also love how on Twitter when this happened, like all of Twitter was like, "Remember what Fresh Prince? Will Smith? He was on Fresh Prince."
Right.
It's like
Yeah, there's a
like,
bunch of
guys,
Fresh Prince
guys,
jokes.
Fresh Prince.
Guys, get it? That's what-
Like everyone's trying to get their Fresh Prince joke in as quickly
Right.
as possible.
They're white hot Fresh Prince
Yeah.
jokes. This movie looks bad.
Yeah.
It has always looked bad to me, and it
Yeah.
only continues to look
it has
bad.
all the elements of a bad
I mean,
movie.
it's like it's also like I feel that you know it is one of these rare opportunities to actually cast Middle Eastern actors or
That
people,
was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
or people who are whose families are from the Middle East or anything. That'd be cool. But I think like they kind of I've heard complaints, and I have to disclose I'm a white person, so I don't have full credentials to comment
Sure.
on this.
Sure.
But like.
We can confirm that you are white.
Yes, it's true.
Although we're also white.
We are
so
also
you can't
white, so-
trust
right. You
anything.
can't,
can't be trusted.
You can't trust anything we say.
Nope.
But I mean, I have heard that there's disappointment that like they didn't really have all of the roles filled by like people who are Middle Eastern, and I can kind of understand that, and I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, well, do you actually need someone who's the exact
there's
nationality?
And
it's like, but it's like after seeing what they did with the genie, I have no faith in them at all doing representation right.
There's definitely a conversation to be had about that, because it goes across the board where it's like, Christian Bale changing accents and stuff like that is just like, how much do we like, how precise do we need to be?
Right.
But again, as a white person, it's sort of like, my answer is, well, everybody else tell me. I'm not gonna make the judgment on that.
Right, exactly.
As someone, like, the only time I've been like, I've mentioned it before, was that fucking Don Juan movie, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where I was John, where I'm like a quarter Italian, but it was like I was so taken aback by that movie, where it's people from like Sweden, like I'm doing like, hey, I'm Italian, and it was like,
hey,
no,
everybody. Hey, you want some lutefisk?
Yeah. The movie was Italy face.
Yeah, pasta face.
Pasta face.
Where it's like, they technically have the same skin color, but what they're doing is insane.
Yeah, it's real. I don't know.
So
I mean, it's
with that criticism. Are they talking specifically about the genie? Who, like, are there other actors?
I remember there was a pushback on Jasmine. I think
so, and
I don't remember why.
Well, I think it's that she's not Middle Eastern, but. Yeah, I do not want to say stuff that I don't know precisely.
Sure.
Because that will make me rightfully sound stupid. But basically, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, I can totally see people's concerns, and I was sort of hoping that maybe Disney would pull through, but then after seeing that trailer and like how the various decisions they've made, it makes me fear what their representation is like one of the potential problems could be like, say you have Jafar, and this is a problem in the animated films as well, where you have the darker the skin tone, the more evil person is. And that's a big problem, and so like that, I'm hoping they don't do that, but they decided to digitize Will Smith, so I don't know.
It's all right. So the director is Guy Ritchie.
Oh, okay. This explains everything.
Yeah, because Guy Ritchie had such a strong start to his career that is just falling apart.
What was his first?
Lock, Stock,
and Two Smoking Barrels. Then he did Snatch. Then he did
he did the
and not Revolver after that.
He did Swept Away. I think
Swept
he did.
The what?
The Shakespeare thing that he did.
I don't know if he did a Shakespeare.
Did Shakespeare? He did
Robin Hood.
No, he did King Arthur.
Oh, okay. That's where things got really bad.
Yeah.
He did Swept Away after Snatch. He got married to Madonna, did a movie with her, got divorced.
Oh.
And then he did Revolver, and then I think Rock and Roller, and then
Sherlock Holmes.
The Sherlock Holmes, which was like, that was...
Was that the Iron Man Sherlock Holmes?
It was.
Oh,
that was novel to me, because it was like, oh, Guy Ritchie doing a mainstream film. This is fun. And then he just didn't stop going that direction.
Right.
And that always happens with indie directors, where it's just like, oh, this is cool. He got a mainstream film, and then they're like, yeah, I really love this money. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I know, I get it.
I'd be right in there. I would make 15 Aladdins if they wanted to pay me millions of dollars.
I guess what I'm thinking of is, did you see King Arthur?
No.
Okay, we watched it recently. It is a really bad movie.
Okay.
Because they let Guy Ritchie do Guy Ritchie.
Okay, yeah.
And he's very stylized director.
Right.
And so it's like, it doesn't work. And it feels like there might have been studio pushback at the same time.
Let me try to guess, because I'm telling the truth, I have not seen the movie, but I'm just going to guess that a lot of it is like sort of like stylized things of like King Arthur swinging his blade, and like sort of this like artful violence of like, oh, and now I'm gonna do my blade, and then it slows down, and you can see water dripping off of my hair, and
there's that, but
Also, like the Snatch stuff.
That's the thing
where it has
that
the
you forget with Guy Ritchie.
hyperkinetic conversations that keep jumping back and forth in time.
The movie is one big montage. The movie is 80% montage.
So like Gossip Girl dialogue, but in King Arthur speak, but modernized, and then
it's not even in King Arthur speak. They're just full up speaking modern
They're
English.
just Guy Ritchie characters.
Yeah, they're just Guy Ritchie.
Like there's like thugs and stuff.
They're like thugs from London.
Like, to the missus. Like
we gotta, like get that sword out of these stones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have seen this movie.
And so it's really like troubling. Like this.
Merlin, could you turn yourself into like...
Oi, Merlin!
Oi, could you give yourself boobs, Merlin? Could you give yourself boobs? Like a really nice pair of tits.
That's pretty much it.
That's
yeah,
it. That's the movie.
So I imagine this
King
Aladdin movie is like Guy Ritchie trying to be Guy Ritchie, and Disney being like,
So is this gonna be like, hey, Genie, could you give yourself a pair of boobs?
I hope so.
Yeah, I would buy $17 in tickets to see a digitized Will Smith with a rockin' pair of tits.
With just some rockin' boobs.
It's just...
Hashtag corporate feminism.
Nice. I'm trying to think of...
Hashtag fresh titsability. That wasn't great.
No.
I'm not proud of
that,
not proud of myself for saying that. So yeah, that's Aladdin.
I guess I know we're already going long here, but it's just that I'm trying to it's the idea of you don't... If you're an indie director and you don't make movies that are extremely stylized, then it's fine to slowly make mainstream. But you don't get a director like this to do mainstream.
Right.
He's not he was never had it's like getting Kevin Smith to write an Aladdin movie. It's like he does a certain thing. Whether you like it or hate it, it's a specific thing.
Also, I feel
use that.
The trailer has this thing that I'm really tired of, which is basically just showing off how much money you've put into this movie and just look, we've got a tiger, and zoom out and it's Agrabah and the CGI is really fancy, and it's the tiger again and he's walking.
Right.
Look at all the fur that we rendered, and it took 500,000 days to render each hair on this tiger. And it's like look at all the money we put into the Sultan's hat, and wow, her shoes there, we didn't need to make them CGI, but we did.
I just love the idea that they CGI'd the big feather on the Sultan's hat.
It's CG, and it took all this time, and we killed a lot of artists died making this. They're dead because we killed them. It
also, again, the punchline is and here's the genie, and it's oh no. I have one more thing I need to say, because I said this about Snoke, because there's the behind the scenes footage you ever see of Snoke in Star Wars, and it's just they got a stand-in that looks exactly like Snoke, and then they took him out and CGI'd him
jaw cancer or something.
No, well, he looked like he was an old man. Where it was just so funny, because for Cracked I had written a sketch that never really got made that involved the idea of doing mocap to make the same person, but with slightly bigger ears, that Hollywood would get to that point.
Right.
And now they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
They mocapped Will Smith and just erased him, and CGI just Will Smith but blue. And it's just put him
a cloud in the shape of Will Smith.
On the other hand, we're one step closer to the Black Mirror reality, where we all go inside a computer and be lesbians for eternity.
Yeah.
I would.
I'd do it.
It doesn't sound awful.
Let's all do it.
Sounds that sounds wonderful. That's my favorite Black Mirror, because it's
such a good episode.
It's so good.
You just finish it. You're like, well, I'm ready for this future.
Right. No, I mean, it's also the most realistic one, where all of them is well, if the future was really bad and we all fucking hated everything and robots killed us, and it's I mean, I think it's more gonna be people are gonna be allowed to love who they want to love and also be immortal computers.
Yeah.
And that's
pretty sweet.
So
it is
good.
pretty sweet.
I'm into that.
I'm very into it.
Let's get it happening. Should we move on?
We should probably.
All right, next one is Frozen 2.
Yeah.
What?
First of all, okay, I think she's probably not going out there to get the corpses of her parents.
Well, maybe.
Maybe
Well,
sing a song with their bloated
so
bodies.
It opens with her ice running on these big waves, and they're like, "Look at her! She's so determined. She's using her ice powers to ice run on the waves, but it's very difficult, and she keeps getting knocked onto the shore by these big waves. And she's like, she's sort of frozoning it, where she's like running, and her feet has ice shooting out of it, but." We know she's capable of building a castle in like during the span of a song.
Yeah.
So like, why doesn't she just build a big boat made out of ice? Because ice floats like glaciers. Glaciers float.
Yeah.
She
Glaciers float.
Glaciers float. She could make a big boat. Doesn't even have to be. It could just be a castle. Even if she can only make castles, that's fine. It'll still float because it's made out of ice.
Right. Also, I mean, she did freeze the entire body of water around the castle.
Right.
Didn't she inadvertently do that, though? Wasn't that like she's like the Phoenix at that point?
Yeah,
right,
I think so.
Too emotionally stable, you mean, to do these big powers?
But like she froze the whole country.
The castle she did on her own.
Right.
That was during
so
Let It
then
Go.
why not? She can't just do a big ship.
She should. Yeah, she. It seems like she could be able to do something,
Make
right?
a boat.
I don't know.
A boat out of ice.
Yeah.
Maybe she can't. Maybe
Or
the
a
ocean's
zorb.
too big.
An ice
A
zorb.
zorb?
Yeah. A big hamster ball out of ice. It'd still float.
That'd be pretty chill.
It's ice. Ice floats.
Yeah.
It sure does.
That's why we put in stuff to cool our drinks, and it floats.
It's nice. Ice zorb.
I think I'm just speculating on the plot. I think it will have to do with like what happened to their parents,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to give the other one powers.
What would Anna's powers be?
I don't know, but didn't you see some weird shit in this where there was like wind and invisible shit?
Yeah, I think that was but that was some unidentified kid.
I hope they don't. Yeah, I hope they don't do this. I'm just thinking like because Disney they tack on these sequels. They know they're going to make them at this point, but I feel like what would you write for a sequel to Frozen?
Well, Anna has the power of worms. She can worms at people very hard.
Yeah.
She can be like, here's my worms, and then just shoot worms out of her hand.
It also appears to be fall themed.
You're just describing someone peeing.
Yeah. We all
I'm
have
shooting
that power.
worms.
Yeah.
That's how I say peeing is. I gotta go shoot some worm.
Gotta go shoot some worms.
I gotta make worm in a toilet. That sounds awful. Hey ya.
I mean, that's what's great about piss is like if you have a sore neck, you can pee in a bag and put it on your
The
neck.
fuck, Dave?
And it's nice.
It's like a nice little heating
What
pack.
in the fuck, Dave? What
What's
kinda-
happening?
What kind of podcast are you guys running? Some kind of like water sports podcast?
I'm just saying, we have the ability to make warmth, as you were all saying, and we never take advantage of that.
We do all the time in the pool,
That's true.
in the ocean. When I was a little kid, and remember when you're a little kid and you're in the ocean and you're like, it sure is cold, but now it's warm.
It's pretty great.
Fish pee in it, man.
Fish pee in it.
The ocean's disgusting.
Yeah,
so,
the ocean's a big toilet.
It's full of fish pee, but it's also full of like aquatic creatures that love to eat urine and feces, and they turn it into
Yeah, they love it.
pure ocean water, like oysters and sea slugs.
Oh yeah, you ever see that video where they put oysters just in a tank?
Yeah,
and it
they
just
filter.
filters?
They filter feed all these brave fish and mollusks and other types of animal eating, drinking pee and poop and turning it into the wonderful ocean.
So we suspect this is going to have something to do with the plot of Frozen.
And so
2.
Yes.
Elsa goes into the ocean and she you know how what's his name? I don't know. Kirk. Who's the guy with the caribou reindeer?
It's like
Schwan.
Sven is the caribou.
Olaf.
Sven's is reindeer. Olaf's the
Yeltsin.
snowman. Oh gosh, what is his name?
Larry.
It's not
It's
Glary?
Sven.
Larry. It's Larry.
Let's see. There's Sven.
Christoph.
Kristoff.
I
Kristoff.
think.
Yeah, he's got his caribou friend. So Elsa needs an animal companion. So she's gonna befriend an oyster.
She's got that.
And she's gonna make friends with an oyster, and the oyster's gonna be like, we need to really break through your shell, but not mine, because I need mine to live. Get it? Because I'm an oyster.
He's gonna do a whole song about it.
Yeah, he's gonna be singing about his shell. None of this is gonna happen.
No.
And it's gonna.
We don't even.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, I'm a bivalve. I'm a bivalve.
Who's just the voice of the oyster?
Who's the voice of the oyster?
Yeah, because we got Josh.
Who's
Gad
the-
Gilbert Gottfried.
Who's the voister?
Boom.
I was about to
the
say
oyster.
Gilbert.
He's just like, I've got a pearl in here. I can't do Gilbert Gottfried.
He's not doing Iago.
I got a shell and it's got a pearl in it, and it's a real big pearl. I gotta poop out this pearl. That's not Gilbert Gottfried at all.
No,
but,
and none of this. We don't believe any of this.
No.
I will say I'm excited for this movie.
Sure.
I liked the first one.
The songs
It made me cry.
The songs
I like
are
Frozen.
soothing. It's very pretty. It could be pure, just saccharine, just garbage, and I will eat it up. I will suckle at the teat of this.
Frozen too.
This very anodyne movie.
Obviously, we should, because right now we have two examples of like good Disney, bad Disney. It's like make new things, Disney.
Swat them with a newspaper.
Don't make Aladdin Disney. We made that already.
Disney, here's the thing. You're very good at doing not art, but just pure eye candy plus manipulative emotions, and you know how to manipulate people. Like, you kill the parents.
You gotta kill the parents.
They kill the parents first off, have some sad song, have siblings fight, love,
checks out.
missed connections, and then a song, and then cute animal companions, and then you're done. Look, like you could make a Frozen, like any genre, just say a noun. And then we'll do a Frozen about it, right?
Boot.
Moist.
Boot. So there's a princess.
Moist boot.
And her only friend is a boot because her only friend is a moist boot because her parents died.
Oh no, you do the little old lady who lives in a shoe. Only it's a lady.
Oh right.
Her parents died, so she's alone in the shoe.
It's a little old lady who lives in a shoe with her two children who are kittens, and she dies, leaving the kittens orphaned.
They eat her body?
And the kittens have even smaller animal companions as friends. They have two mice friends, and they're like...
They eat the mice?
They're like kicking you. They have a song about kicking you while you're down, while we live in a boot.
Because they live in a boot.
And then they meet a cobbler who falls in love with them.
All of the cats?
Right? A cobbler falls in love with the cat orphans and then they're like, but the cobbler first only wants them for their boot house, and then
their delicious fur.
And then
it can make furry shoes.
Right. He wants to make shoes out of the cats, but then he learns that these cats have value, and he marries them, the cats, in the boot, and then they have they're like, if the shoe fits, you marry it. And that's the song at the end. And they're like, if the shoe fits, you marry it. And then it's these cats. And they're married. These orphan kittens are married to an adult man.
Yeah. An adult tradesman.
Right.
Make it happen, Disney.
And then, people
See, it works
like,
on two levels, because if the shoe fits also refers to sex.
Oh,
the implied.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
And then they have a song like,
family
you
that
know
they're
what they
gonna
say about men with big shoes? And then they're like, they've got a large penis. And then and the kittens have powers.
What powers?
Well, shoe powers.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them can just squirt varnish out of his eye.
Yeah.
One of them just like shoelace comes out of his hands, like Spider-Man, just.
Yep. I'm sorry, not varnish, shoe polish.
I feel like a shoelace would be tough for a cat, because then we get distracted and try to chase the shoelace that's coming out of the paw.
What's the next trailer?
Cut all that. Just
We're not cutting.
hang on. We're gonna cut.
We're not cutting any of this.
Cut starting from about 2 minutes ago to beep now.
All right, so that's Frozen 2.
Child's Play is the next one, the remake.
Okay, well, isn't Chucky supposed to be possessed by...
He's a robot in this.
Apparently not.
Robot.
Like in this remake they're doing where he's a smart toy that just kind of goes insane.
I'm tired tired of robots being evil. I'm tired of it, you guys. I'm done. We're done with that.
Yes.
We've done it so many times.
I agree with this because I don't think we'll ever make robots evil because we don't make robots have AI most of the time. I mean, maybe we will in the future, but we won't. The AI that's most likely to like rebel is not the thing we're going to put in our war robots. Because
it's going to be our butler.
I don't know what else we can explore with robots, but I feel like we could do something where it's like robots aren't evil, but they're just kind of passive aggressive. Like, I think that would be a cool movie.
Oh yeah. I think that's why what's it called was so good. Mustache.
Her?
Her, thank you. See, I was trying to give as little information as possible.
Because
that was robots being like, we're done with you. Like,
we're just gonna fuck off.
Yeah,
or just like kind of passive aggressive, where it's like you got an android who looks like a sexy lady, but she can also make toast, and you're like, make me toast, and she's like, I could calculate like the size of the moon if in 5 seconds, and you want me to make you toast and go? You know?
That's what I would do.
That's what robots do is they calculate
the size of the moon.
Sorry, so Chucky, right?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about this is there's another Child's Play movie that comes out the same month.
Wait,
called Chucky, I think.
Charles.
It's like a fan.
Oh,
it's not
fancy boy, huh? Little fancy boy. Oh,
Charles.
Hi there, fancy boy. You going to your finals club in Harvard?
And then they're Harvard.
Hedge fund, baby.
They're also making the original Child's Play people with Brad Dourif are trying to make like a mini series for Hulu.
What
or something.
happened culturally to make them think we want three
three Chuckies?
Has anybody checked to see if we want one Child's Play?
Is there some kind of miscommunication where like there was some like algorithm where it's like oh wow, people really want to see Chucky again? Like what has
like
happened pop
when you
culturally
accidentally
to do
send
that?
the same message like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
I think that's probably what happened. We want 3 Child's Play. All right.
They all went to some marketing firm that like got the research wrong.
They like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is popular, and then like they have some like formula, and they forgot like a decimal point, and then it turned out
as 3 Chucky movies.
Oh my god!
Shit.
Yeah, this is.
I like that they hide Chucky's face in this. Like we know what Chucky looks like.
That was a news I didn't
they're
put.
Gonna put Will Smith's face.
That'd be amazing.
It's just a fucking blue Will Smith.
And then everyone's like, and then he's just like, "Hey, I was in Fresh Prince."
They leaked a Chucky thing online that was like, "Is this the Chucky?" And it's just
Chucky.
And they were just like, "Is this the new Chucky?" And it's like, "Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
it looks just like
fucking
Chucky.
looks like Chucky.
Same Chucky flavor, different Chucky.
Chucky was he was just a riff on My Buddy.
Yeah.
So he looks like a My Buddy with like orange hair.
I don't know what you could do with like. I feel like we have possessed dolls. That happened. There was like that bad movie made about possessed dolls. So, Annabelle or whatever.
Annabelle, sure. There's also a movie called Dolls.
Silence.
Okay, Dolls. Yeah, so like
Dead
evil.
Silence.
I feel like
Is
evil
magic
dolls.
about?
I don't know.
Okay.
What could be done with like? I feel like
I got it.
a movie where you get turned into dolls. That'd
I feel
be
like
spooky.
might exist.
There's a movie. It's a terrible movie. But the idea is not bad. It's called Pinocchio's Revenge. And it appears as if this creepy ass Pinocchio doll is just murdering everybody around it, and then at the end of the movie it turns out that it's actually a little boy that's been
my
doing
god,
it.
I was just about to pitch that of a creepy doll movie where the doll just happens to be alive.
Well, that was
and then you find out it's like the dirtbag neighbor, and the end is the doll like, yeah, hey, I didn't do shit, you guys.
or the doll was never alive to begin with.
Oh, I want the doll to be like, yeah, I'm magic, and you all assumed I was the one killing everybody.
There's this. Okay, so
dickheads.
this is an idea that's kind of ripped off. There's this short live action movie on YouTube, and I'm sorry I don't remember but if you like look up like guy thinks people are mannequins or something, it's this thing where guy takes a bunch of like uppers because he's a truck driver, and then he
Sweet.
sees all these mannequins and he gets freaked out, and the mannequins seem to be following him, and he panics. He starts hitting him with baseball bats, and then cuts to him just covered in blood, and clearly he's, and then it's the narrative makes it clear that he's just been killing people, and he's hallucinating that they're mannequins because he's so fucked up by amphetamines.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really cool. I liked that a lot. And so I kind of like that idea of someone not being that idea of not being able to tell what's a doll and what's a human. You could have a thing where it's okay, so it's the future and there's sex dolls now, but people are so used to mistreating sex robots that they just start mistreating real humans, and it's
you
could do something like that, where it's okay to kill robots, but it's not. They kind of touched on that in Westworld a little bit, where he's so used to the violence of eviscerating the android people that he kills his daughter and stuff. Sorry, spoilers, but
spoilers for Westworld.
Spoilers for
okay
Westworld.
show.
I like it.
It's very watchable.
I like it. I know you guys have.
I don't hate it. I watch it. Every episode, it's fine. It's fine.
And there were a couple of really good episodes last season.
Yeah.
But it's one of those shows. I like that. It's one of those shows that I think tries to be deep, and it just isn't. It's just it's not deep. It's just a sci-fi story.
I guess I just I don't have that much expectations for it. I do like, and I like some of the concepts they explore, even though they're not deep. It's sort of this idea of being stuck in a consciousness loop of your consciousness being revived a bunch of times and you don't realize it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So I think they touch on some cool things as long as you're not expecting too much. It's sort of I remember when Inception came out and everyone was like, this is going to be a really deep movie, and it's
no, it's not.
Not at all, but it's a solid movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's just surface level.
Don't expect any kind of philosophical denouement from I
think people went into the first season expecting it to be that because it's Jonathan Nolan and it's going to be crazy, and he's well, no, it's
just good,
straightforward.
And you can't. It's hard to both accomplish good narrative over the span of a TV show and do really deep conceptual stuff. So I would much prefer good narrative, because I think Lost tried to do the deep conceptual stuff and they lost the narrative.
That's what bugs me with Westworld, is that it does feel a little mystery boxy, where it's the first season they're what's Anthony Hopkins doing, and he's speaking in riddles and stuff, and it's just wouldn't the shareholders just fire him? If you're running a theme park and you're spending all this money and they're what is he doing? It's you should probably know what he's doing.
I think they were trying to get rid of him, right? And so he and the problem was he was the only one who kind of understood a lot of IP, so they were trying to get as much of that IP out of him as they could before firing him, and I think that actually kind of makes sense.
Welcome to Westworld Cast.
Sorry, let's
Westcast.
Stop talking about this.
Fine. The next one is Tolkien.
Oh yeah,
That looked nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll watch this.
Yeah, I'll watch this. I did an article a long time ago about how Tolkien based everything off of his surroundings. Because if you look at the college he went to, there's fucking 2 towers, and it's got that circle around it.
The woods.
His
village is
where he grew up
Hobbiton.
with the Shire.
Yeah.
I think his war, plus there was a neighboring area that was really polluted that looked fucking Mordor.
Yeah, he was it was a very anti-industrialization books, the Lord of the Rings stuff, because he saw the sort of, it was even I think people, I remember there was some quote by him saying people keep saying the ring is the nuclear bomb, and it's not. He's not making it a direct analogy or a one-to-one thing, but he's just kind of taking these concepts war and industrialization and all these kind of ugliness.
I always thought the ring was meant to represent the fact that everybody has the capacity to do terrible things.
Yeah, I think it's the idea. It's just power.
Yeah, it's power.
I think that's what made those books so nice, is that it's just sort of it's not a specific thing. It's power, and it shows how that corrupts people and leads them to become evil. And it's not, the ring itself has no evilness intrinsically. It's just when it's in the hands of, and like that's why he's saying like in the hands of men it's the worst, and like kind of idea. And then hobbits are sort of represent more of a innocence or something. That
it seems like just the shorter you are, the better you are.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. Because like the wizards are taller, right?
Some real
people.
Elves.
And they're worse with the ring.
Real elves, sizest.
Sauron, and then the towers are real high.
Yeah, they're not. That's no good.
True.
The highest person is the fucking eye.
Good. Like the Ents are good, and they're tall.
That's true.
So,
but we didn't see them with a ring.
That's true.
If they gave them a ring, what if they're real dickheads?
That would be funny, though.
Yeah,
that would be funny if the trees just like won.
Invisible. Yeah,
it's the invisible trees did win. The trees were
they fucked that shit up. Yeah,
that was one of
the one that's on fire and dips his head. That kills me.
That's my only hesitation with this movie. Is it looks good, but I feel like it's just gonna make me sad.
It probably will.
Because like it's this idea of like when we saw the Lord of the Rings, I was just so excited about movies in general because it's like, wow, like this is like opening up a whole new kind of genre of these epic movies, and like film studios won't be so scared to go in this direction, but they don't. It never. No.
Yeah, it's a weird
sort of a peak there.
Yeah, and also fantasy has always been tricky. Like I think Lord of the Rings is literally the only successful fantasy
Lightning in
movies.
a bottle, yeah.
Like I'm talking about fantasy like swords and sorcerers and shit. Like those movies historically never do well.
They always manage to screw it up, and like I mean it's also just The Hobbit it makes me so sad, and like that it could have been if they hadn't tried to fit
make it another trilogy,
into that like high fantasy epic movie. Could have been a really cool little Guillermo del Toro fairy tale. Yeah. That would have been fun.
That's always the problem with the studios, is that something succeeds, so they're like, let's just fit it into that
money
box.
And it's got to have international broad appeal. It can't be too niche, and that's just very. It's
I think sad. Because The Hobbit is a book for children. And I think the main like example of that of what you're talking about, Katie, is when they released an R-rated cut of the third Hobbit movie.
What?
Yeah, there's the Battle of the Two Armies or whatever it's called. There's like an R-rated cut.
What is there? Just the dicks out? Do all the orcs and stuff? Just
violence,
flopping dicks.
Yeah, but they're just around.
They're just like, there's orcs coming. You know what time it is. Our little cocks and balls come right out.
Yep.
Let's pop out those cocks and balls.
Thorin Oakenshield is just helicoptering through the field, spinning his dick. So I'm surprised there hasn't been a movie like this already.
Yeah.
And maybe there has been, and but like a big budget.
I just
Tolkien.
think it's gonna make me sad because it's like, first of all, I live in LA and there's no trees here. So I feel like it's gonna capture a mood that will that I know I can't achieve, and I will be sad.
Do you get sad every movie that has trees?
Yeah.
Okay. all we have in Los Angeles.
Well, I used to live on the East Coast, and we'd at least have like weather and trees there. And
there's
now,
forests out there.
And like going into forests and like, I can actually find salamanders in this forest.
I miss forests. Forests are awesome.
I do miss that. And so I mean, look, I love LA. The food is amazing, but like there's no fucking trees here.
All we have are palm trees, which are just liars trees.
And, right, and they're not I don't think they're native.
No, they're not. They were brought here.
Right, and they always look so sickly and sad. They're just like, well, we're going to put a palm tree next to this freeway, and the palm tree's like, kill me.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
One anti-forest thing real quick is that going back home after living in the city for a while, you forget how forests are like nice and pretty, but then every now and then a monster will come up to you and murder you.
Yeah, I was just going to say bears.
Yeah, in LA it's like, you could get mugged, or like there's dangers here, there's crime, but like a bear is going to eat you. So like you can't really reason with it.
Bears can be reasoned with. You got a can of pennies, and the bear's like, whoa, okay.
That's true.
No need for any of that.
Yeah, they're like, what is that?
Hang on now. Calm down, everybody. Let's, no need to escalate things here to a can of pennies.
All right. Next one.
We got to get through this.
This is great. The Act, which I don't know.
What was that one
Oh,
again? I forgot.
I actually saw this on like a true crime documentary show. It's it's the one about this girl whose like mom is keeping her at home.
Oh yeah.
but
Mommy Dead and Dearest. Sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
That's it.
I didn't know anything about it. I was worried about the trailer because I was like, oh no, is this a true crime?
Yeah, it's a movie about Munchausen's by proxy.
Yeah.
And it's a real case where this woman made her girl pretend to be sick. But it was a lot more insidious than that. She had to pretend to be younger than she was. She had
because she was like an adult, but she was like
in her early 20s, and
Yeah.
she was. Her mother was saying she was like 14 or 15 when she was like 21 or 22.
right, because they were putting them through like Make-A-Wish programs and
Right,
stuff.
and like she was made to pretend to be mentally less competent than she was, even though she's totally like neurotypical, other than being fucking abused.
Yeah, seriously traumatized.
And she was given all of these unnecessary medical procedures, like her mother lied to doctors telling them that she drooled too much, and she used some kind of like oral numbing thing to make her drool at the doctor's office. So they removed her salivary glands, which is, if you don't have a drooling problem, then if you don't have your salivary glands, that will fuck you up. And just physical abuse, punishing her when she didn't act like a little sick girl. And so the spoilers, but the girl who's
in the trailer.
she meets a guy online and has a pretty unhealthy relationship with him because he's also fetishizing her, but she literally is not allowed to express her sexuality. So of course she's going to have this kind of it's one of those things where they're talking about being Harley and the Joker. And if your boyfriend is putting you in that sort of dichotomy, you run away fast, because that's messed up.
But I mean, like, of course,
well,
that happens to her.
And no, I'm not blaming her at all for this.
Right.
This makes complete sense, because someone who's been abused and basically held prisoner by her own mother, and such a just complete and total control over her entire life and not having any normal socialization, of course she's going to do this. And so she's talking to this guy about wanting to kill her mom because she didn't see any other way out. So the guy kills her mom.
Yeah, he does.
And she goes, I think she went to prison, but I just feel like
she shouldn't have.
Well, that was this trailer. I didn't know about the guy because they show her
he went to
the
prison
mother
too,
abusing her, and I thought like, oh, is this a true crime about this woman being terrible? And then it ends with them being like, why did you kill your mom? And I was just like, oh, good for her.
Yeah, so she
she got
here's
out of
the
it.
thing: you can't plot to kill someone and not have anything happen. But our prison system is not set up for treating people who are victims of abuse or who have these issues. So it's like one of these things where we need to have some space in justice system for people who are victims of abuse, and we don't. So
wasn't there that case recently about the woman who was going to go to jail forever for killing she was like a sex slave and killed the guy.
Yeah, there's
and
a lot of those actually.
But her, at least her case after
15, and she killed the John. She was like a sex slave, and now she's like life in prison, and maybe she was recently.
They recently took away the sentence or reduced it. It was a happy-ish ending for such a dark thing. But it's like, I hope we keep going in that direction where it's like, she was fucking 15. Yeah. What would you if you're a captive, if someone kidnaps you and you murder that person, you don't go to jail for that, right?
I feel like you should be given some kind of mandatory treatment and becoming a ward of the state where you're given, medical treatment and, parole and stuff, because it's true. We can't just ignore you had reason to kill him and just ignore them.
Nah, she had it coming.
But there should be another.
Prison is definitely not the place for an abused.
Let's really dive into prison reform right now.
Let's not do that. But so this movie's called The Act. It has the girl from Wish Upon. That's Wish Upon.
Is she like? Has she signed off on this movie or?
Oh, I don't know.
This podcast is all over the fucking place right now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I'm really enjoying it.
I don't know if you have to. If you, because that's all. I guess you could consider her a public figure.
That kind of feels wrong.
Yeah, yeah. You could just watch the documentary, which is called what's called "Mommy, Dead, and Dearest."
We've talked about last week about true crime, where it's like, there's this weird morbid thing where when it's actors playing the roles, where it's like, what is this? Like,
why do we need this?
Is this our entertainment? Is this for entertainment?
Yeah, just watch the documentary. It is a fascinating case.
I have to admit, I do like true crime, but then
of course,
there's also this sort of vulturistic aspect about it that makes me very uncomfortable, and I think that that is good to feel that, because it should be. It's like there are lots of things like My Favorite Murder, where I think they handle it pretty well, where they're clearly sympathetic to these things, and they kind of respect victims of crimes and stuff. But then it's like, then there's like stuff where it's just like chicks who kill, and then it's
there's a show,
Piers Morgan or whoever.
There's a show that's literally called Deadly Women.
Yeah.
It's about women who kill.
She may be sexy, but she also murdered 5 men, but her tits were rocking. Her killer tits in more way than one.
She actually killed them with her tits.
Ah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, not to do, but a story about
to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Killer tits.
All right, moving on to...
Oh, wait, sorry. There was a link, like a National Geographic URL that was Killer Tits, because it was about tits, the birds,
Excellent.
who kill other birds and eat their brains.
They knew what they were doing.
There's got to be some horny guys who like clicked and they're like, oh,
Killer tits. Killer tits. But it's about birds, but you thought it was about boobs.
All right, this next one is Yesterday. This is a Danny Boyle film, by the way.
I know.
Oh, Danny Boyle, he's good.
This is a weird one.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, the plot didn't grip me that much.
I don't understand. I assume there's gonna, the premise of the film, if you haven't seen the trailer, is a guy gets into a car accident, and when he comes to, he is now in a world where he's the only person that remembers the Beatles.
Yeah.
Like the Beatles didn't exist.
I'm sort of on the same, where it's like this particular plot didn't really, because I'm not a Beatles fan. I don't care. I don't know.
But it's not really about that.
Yes. Well, I love these what if movies, and it's weird that we don't do enough and get creative with it. Like, it's always like body switching or something.
Right.
Like, there could be a movie where someone, like a reverse Big or something, like something
small.
Yeah, small.
It's called Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yeah. But do like
Tom Hanks is just this real little guy. He's like, hello there.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Hanks. Hey, I'm Tom Hanks.
God, it's like Tom Hanks is in the room.
Yeah.
One of my many impressions, including Gilbert Gottfried. Hi, I'm Gilbert Gottfried. I'm sorry. Please come back. I won't do that again. I really apologize.
I mean, I guess, yeah, my point is that I like, it's weird and creative. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
It's
yeah. It's one of these things where, I mean, Danny Boyle is great, so I feel like the fact that he's good at movies, I have a little more faith in it, but it's a little bit just, I don't quite, the conflict isn't gripping me, like where he feels this feeling of like, well, I'm plagiarizing. But if you woke up and nobody remembered this band and you did, then you would, my assumption would be, well, so, you know, magic isn't real, so I must be actually inventing these songs. So I feel like
you have a brain problem or something.
Right. Like a normal person can be like, well, that crash like turned me into a genius.
I was just gonna say that might be it. I'm wondering if that's a plot point. Like if he first thinks there's something wrong with it.
Right. I mean, I don't know why I'm getting hung up on the technical details. It looks like it could be an interesting movie. It's just not. Maybe it's because I'm not a musician, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. It's not.
Well, I can't really tell what the conflict is, because then it turns into like
the trailer seems like it gives us 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, well, like, so he's not a very successful musician, and he he gets hit on the head, and then he knows all the Beatles songs, but nobody else knows them, and then he becomes rich and famous, and the girl he knew before is like, but you're rich and famous, and I'm just a school teacher, and you don't love me, and then...
That's literally a line in the trailer.
Yeah, and then the Beatles show up, the actual Beatles, like the part where they're like... There's a part where they say, these two guys claim they wrote the songs originally.
Yeah, but then they cut out from that, so we can only...
Well, one of them's barefoot, so you're like, oh, okay, that's probably Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
I mean, it could only be Paul McCartney. He's barefoot on the Abbey Road.
Okay.
When they're walking across the street.
Okay. Yeah, I mean...
It was a big part of the Paul is dead rumor.
I mean, I just don't like. It looks kind of, I guess like what is it? What a trailer should be kind of hinting at is what the movie's trying to say, not specific plot points. So maybe this was just like a bad trailer, but like I would prefer one that gets the mood across.
Right. I don't know what the movie's supposed to be about, really, aside from its gimmick.
I don't know what I don't know what. Yeah, what it's sort of trying to communicate, where it's like. Like where it's isn't modern life sad how we try to change the lyrics of Hey Jude to Hey Dude? Isn't that sad?
I just like
Isn't Sheeran like a
fucking Ed
prick?
Sheeran.
Yeah. Isn't Ed Sheeran a prick? Is that what the movie's trying to say?
I don't know.
That's how it feels.
That's my main takeaway is Ed Sheeran is a dummy.
What a douche. Yeah. What a douche that Ed Sheeran.
What a douche.
He's a total douche.
I'm in love with your body.
Yeah, there's a very good chance I'm never going to see this movie.
I probably won't see it. I mean, but I do like Danny Boyle.
You like Danny Boyle?
I do too. He's a good director, but I learned something about Danny Boyle, which is that I don't like all of his films.
Well,
I like him as a director, but not all of his films.
Milkshake duck us. Like I learned something about.
Oh no!
He hates Chinese people.
Racist.
He's extremely racist.
He's like a racist, like a future racist.
Right.
He's so racist, time bends around him.
No, I just say like he's not. I personally, it was like, oh, I don't have to watch every Danny Boyle film. Although they are, I do like most of them.
Well, 28 Days Later was great.
Yeah, and he did the cutting off the arm. That was fun.
What?
Watching James. That was his, right?
127 hours.
127 hours.
Was that him?
Yeah, pretty sure, right?
Well, he did Sunshine.
It felt
right?
like him.
Yeah, he did do Sunshine.
He did
99%
Sunshine?
of the
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy movies.
I'm gonna look up Danny Boyle. He
He's
did
a lot of
Slumdog.
the Cillian
I
Murphys,
like
yeah.
Slumdog.
All of Cillian Murphy. Those cheekbones are dangerous.
He could.
Glass.
Yeah, he could sharpen an eye for his cheekbones.
He just like they're registered as lethal weapons. Those cheekbones.
He can't take his cheeks onto an airplane.
Yeah.
He has to he's got
has to
to
wear these
child-proof his cheekbones.
Like floaties only on the side of his face.
Yeah.
He has to put rubber tips on his cheekbones.
He's actually one of my favorite Batman villains. I thought that his portrayal of Scarecrow was pretty good in the original.
Yeah. Oh, I like that he was in all three of them.
Yeah, that was dumb. I stopped liking Batman after that first. I didn't even really like the second one with the Joker in it.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I think that maybe it's because Christian Bale was starting to get on my nerves.
That voice is hard.
Yeah, and
it's hard to do. It's hard to watch a movie where he's doing that goddamn voice.
Maybe it's like around the time, because when was that? That was like around college, and I'm like, oh, rich people. And
So okay, hold the phone. Danny Boyle made a Frankenstein movie.
What was it called?
Frankenstein.
Oh,
It has Benedict Cumberbatch and Johnny Lee Miller.
was that a direct-to-TV movie?
Sounds like a BBC
Okay, this is
movie.
getting weirder and weirder. I think
What
it's
was
like
it called? Frankenstein.
I think it's like Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch are both credited as Victor Frankenstein and the creature.
Jesus Christ.
And the
That's
cover
certainly a mistake.
has both of them with the other's face on it.
That's some real Danny Boyle shit.
What the fuck is this movie? I want to see it now. Oh, it was I think it was it was theater.
It's too early in the afternoon
it's like
for this.
you'd have to go to a stage.
Nah, fuck that.
never
What's the
mind.
next trailer?
Okay. He also did Steve Jobs. I didn't know that.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Ashton
I gotta
Kutcher?
catch up with no, the other one.
The Fassbender one.
All right. Next one is Big Shark.
Oh,
This was going to go on movies that deserve
So-
more hype, but
So
think
the
people are talking
trailer
about
on YouTube, the sound design was really off on that trailer.
Yeah. How did you see The Room?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Now, The Room is a really interesting I think what it is it's really sort of the the misleading narrator is really perfected in this
Unreliable
movie. It's
narrator, yeah.
kind of a sort of like a turn of the screw sort of a movie.
Katie literally pushed her glasses up before she started the
For people wondering, Big Shark is the third movie by Tommy Wiseau.
What
The
was
second
the second?
one, Best Friends,
Best
which
Friends.
is out. That's the other one I gotta watch. It's out on Amazon right now. Best Friends.
Okay.
He does it with what's his name?
Greg Sestero.
Yeah,
Who was also in this.
Would people stop taking advantage of this poor man?
I think he's fine with it.
Here's the thing. I legitimately enjoyed this trailer when the shark showed up because it's in the background and it didn't look bad.
No,
to me.
what I like about it is that they've circumvented the problem with shark movies, which is that you're only in danger of the shark if you're in the ocean.
Right.
So, like most shark
Bring the
movies,
ocean.
problem, right? So the problem is like, why would I be scared of a shark? Because I don't have to go in the ocean. But in this one, the ocean comes to them. They're walking in the street. Two women slap Tommy Wiseau's friend.
Yeah, they
And
slapped
they're
the shit out of Greg Sestero.
You're a shitty person. I don't like you. And then she slaps him. And then the second friend is like, you're a dick and I'm drunk. And then she slaps him and they're like, hey, women, what are you gonna do about the women? I don't understand them. And then suddenly the ocean comes and like floods the area. And then Tommy Wiseau's like, what the heck is the ocean doing here? And then the shark. And this is not a joke. I'm just explaining the trailer.
I know. My favorite thing about Tommy Wiseau in movies is when it's like he always looks like he's trying to fit in with humans.
Yeah.
Because it's that where it's like
water.
Yeah, it's like three people who look like they're like in their maybe late 20s and they look regular, and then it's him look like he's in disguise.
Yeah.
Like hello young people.
He looks like an ageless vampire.
Yeah.
Just like
I also like to use the phones. Don't you like the phones? It's really nice, doggy.
But
Good doggy.
Yeah,
Sugar water. Give me sugar water.
I just have to stress, I legitimately enjoyed the shot of the shark in the background eating the people.
They didn't
Like that-
show them eating the people. It
They
was
should like come out.
and eat
Right.
somebody, yeah.
And
right.
I crave big shark movies. And the Meg didn't do it for me.
Yeah, not quite.
And this
what
might do it for me.
I
I mean, I'm
mean-
sure the shark looks terrible when it's close up.
I mean, what I'd like is sort of a Pixar movie about sharks, where the sharks are orphans and their parents
And they
are
live
dead.
in a boot.
And they live. Don't be silly, Thomas. They are in the ocean, so they live in a flipper.
Yeah?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucking
we
flipper
did that.
sharks.
We
But-
did it.
Yeah, everybody look up Big Shark. I'm excited.
The
for
sound design is lacking.
It's
is what I'm
very
saying.
lacking.
This looks like it could be a solid movie, but they don't have any peak limiters.
this. Yeah.
The best part is when at the end of the trailer you can just hear the audio and it's Tommy Wiseau screaming.
Yes.
I assume
Saying,
he's
ouch! Oh, it's pain because of the shark. Ow! Owie! The shark. It hurts. Ouch! My leg. The shark is eating it. Owie! It's very painful.
it's gonna be great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Next movie is Ma.
Ma.
Yes.
Right.
This I was excited for, and then I got less and less excited.
I feel. I don't know.
Well,
It seems on its face it seems pretty interesting. It's a bunch of kids looking to party. They just randomly run into Octavia Spencer outside the liquor store. Hey, will you buy us booze? And at first she's like, no. And then they're like, come on. She's like, all right, I'll buy you booze. And then she invites them to her house to party in the basement and becomes like part of their group.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like...
And it becomes like misery.
Yeah, she
Right.
becomes obsessive and...
Yeah.
She wants a bunch of. Who doesn't want a bunch of young, lithe, sexy teens?
Right.
Just
I mean,
I mean, I
of
sort
course.
of...
that sounds really gross. I'm joking, everyone.
I do like... Because at first I was like, I want to be the weird old person who invites teenagers into their basement and then creeps them out. It sounds like fun, and then hits them with their car.
Right, and
That
like
happens in-
Fucking incredible.
steals their earrings and like
Stitches their mouth
Yeah.
shut.
she knew them like their parents in college. The only, again, I feel not qualified to comment
Yes,
on this.
but you pointing this out and then looking up who's making this is the person making this is kind of shocking, but then made me less excited. But
Right. So, I mean, there's again, I don't know if I'm even qualified to talk about this, but I feel like there's a uncomfortable racial aspect to it, which is that like most of the certainly the main characters and most of the teenagers are these attractive white people, and then the antagonist, what's that actress's name?
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer. And you know, she's an older black woman, and she's a great actress. So part of it is just like, you know, the casting is probably based on like her skill as an actress.
Yeah,
but
it's exciting that it's her.
Yeah, like I said, it reminds me of Misery, and I was like, oh, I'd like to see Octavia Spencer do like a kind of Kathy Bates style craziness.
But part of one of the things I'm uncomfortable with is so like there's this kind of trope in Hollywood where it's like, you know, young white people find an older black person who helps them with their life problems, and they just kind of swoop in and like,
the magic black person.
Yeah. And it's like, and so at first I was like, oh, this is kind of a subversion of that trope, and that's kind of interesting potentially. But then the directors,
it's the writer-directors of The Help,
which is like the reigning queen movie of like that trope of like, you know, a white girl has a problem and then some, you know, older black woman helps her with her problem, but it's all about the white girl.
It's one of the more infamous white savior movies in recent years.
Like I try to think like, oh, it doesn't matter, like anybody can write about anything and stuff, but like it is like a white guy, and I'm kind of shocked that The Help was written by a white guy.
Well, it was based on a book, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I don't know who wrote the book. But yeah, it's
I know Octavia Spencer makes a pie out of her shit for Bryce Dallas Howard.
I mean, here's the problem, because in theory you should be able to cast anyone as anybody.
Right, yeah.
And it shouldn't be a problem, and it shouldn't be about their race. The issue is that we don't have that many black women in movies, so like whenever someone is cast in a movie, there needs to be some thoughtfulness about it.
Yeah.
At least by maybe having more black people in the movie. Like not taking her out of the movie.
Yeah, it is weird that like everyone else is white.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not saying, because like
that's what makes it weird.
Is like amazing.
Yeah.
So don't take her out, but put fewer white people in.
Because I think for her, it's like it's not every day she gets to play a role like this. So it's that.
And she looks amazing at it. Yeah. Like she is. I mean, it's a pretty cool role, because she kind of has this like maternal thing, like at first, where she's like, you know, she's sort of like that mom that you run into at the grocery store, and who's like kind of, you know, nice and sweet, and then like she has this like sinister side, and I never will tire of like the creepy mom trope in horror movies. I think that's
and it's cool to like, because she's mostly played like sweet characters, right. So it's cool to, I like it when people play against type like this,
right. And I think that's great. It's just, it makes me uncomfortable that all the kids are like, you know.
Of course, the flip, well, I don't know. Maybe they're all a bunch of chads.
Yeah, they might
Maybe
be
they deserve it. Oh, they deserve
Maybe
it.
they deserve to get stabbed.
Either way, it feels like,
there's that scene where she runs somebody over with the truck.
Oh, it's delightful.
I did
so
love that.
intense. Just kind of casually swerves to take this person out.
Yeah.
Just a smear on the road.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm going to see this.
I want to see it.
And now that I know who the writer-director is, I'm a little more like, eh.
No,
they also did the Girl on the Train, which I haven't seen, so they've done like thrillers.
I mean, it's something where like you just have, if you're the writer and director, as long as you're cognizant of the tropes and you either subvert them or you're kind of gracefully avoiding them, I think it'll turn out fine. It's just something that when I was watching it, I was like, are they gonna do this okay? Right. Are they gonna handle it? Like, are they gonna be able to, you know? But I don't know. I maybe I'm being too paranoid.
Well, I don't know. I think with all this stuff, it's interesting to talk about it, but
right, yeah, because
I'm still gonna see it to find out. You know,
like
nothing in the trailer has, you know, nothing in the trailer is bad,
right?
But it's It's a good point.
Yeah, like me as dumb white guy just watching. I was like, oh, this looks good. Like none of that entered my mind.
I could also be like just
You could be
seeing problems.
overthinking it.
Right, I could be overthinking it and seeing problems where there are none. So I don't know.
I think the point where it became not as much overthinking, it was seeing who wrote it and directed.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Of just being like again, I think everybody should be able to write and direct it. You know, like it's good to have more diversity, obviously, behind the camera and stuff. But I'm not gonna write this person off just because they're a white dude.
Right.
But it's still like, meh.
Right, and again, it's not.
I don't know.
It's not.
It's more about the help than it is.
It's more about the help than it is about
It's
the movie.
not that you're not allowed to like cast like minorities as villains. In fact, I think it's important to have everyone cast as everything. Like that's how representation works. You don't put people on pedestals. You just like have roles open to everyone. But there's also ways you can mess it up, I think, like by having it.
Yeah, but otherwise we don't get classics like Lakeview Terrace. Everybody remembers Lakeview Terrace, right?
I do. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't remember why.
I gotta watch that again. I feel like I'm due for Lakeview Terrace.
It's a hell of a cast.
Yeah. It really is.
But yeah, what's the next trailer?
Okay. Lords of Chaos.
Oh yeah,
The official trailer has come out. We've talked about this before. Friend of the podcast, Walter Skarsgård is in it.
Skarsgård. Friend Walter.
Is he the it guy?
No,
that's
his
his
brother
different
is.
Skarsgård?
His
He's
brother
the
is.
littlest.
How many
Skarsgård
Skarsgård are there?
A lot.
Like,
There's like 9.
We did a whole thing about
Like,
this, a whole coven of
is
them.
there like a gross of Skarsgård?
There might be.
Yeah.
Is the plural of Skarsgård just Skarsgård, or is it like Skarsgårdi or Skarsgårdux?
Skarsgårds?
A Skarsgård?
What are they? Norwegian?
Swedish.
They're like Swedish Baldwins.
Swedish Baldwins.
Although that's kind of insulting them.
Now I'm just like,
Nobody deserves
now
that.
I'm just thinking of like the Skarsgårds and the Baldwins like shouldering up, sort of like snapping and like sharks in the jets.
Yeah. Getting into it.
So it's got a Skarsgård in it.
Yeah.
It's about the band Mayhem.
Yeah, which we discussed earlier. There, look them up. Just go on that Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I mentioned the
have a great
documentary.
afternoon.
I think on the last episode or a few episodes ago. It's
Who hasn't seen a nice juicy church and just wanted to burn it?
yeah.
And this is
I'm
also the director of Spun and the director of Polar, which Walter actually on Twitter pointed out.
Yeah. That Mads Mikkelsen movie that's on.
Yeah, that makes me want to
That's
see it
another
more.
Swedish guy.
Yeah, it's a good director.
Is he Swedish, Mads? Or is he?
He's something.
He's something.
He's some damn thing.
I'm really bad at distinguishing amongst just the names for like between Norwegian names and Swedish
Nordic
names.
people. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I
mean,
apologize.
not offending me.
I don't care. Yeah,
I'm sure someone's offended. And to
Is
you,
Mads Mikkelsen a Skarsgård?
is he a Skarsgård?
Secret Skarsgård.
Wait, am I a Skarsgård?
We're all descendants of Skarsgårds.
It's like, back in ancient times, the Skarsgårds. It's actually, we didn't come from Africa. We came from Skarsgård.
Yeah,
We're all Skarsgårds.
Skarsgårds.
but
Yeah, I'm super.
I never got
excited
tickets
watch
to it. It's premiering. It's in a few places in LA. I kind of want
Pretty cool.
to go see it.
Yeah.
It's pretty metal.
Yep, it's super fucking metal. Probably the most metal band.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're really committed. to being
They're
metal.
really committed to being
I
metal.
mean, there's all sorts of different flavors of metal. There's progressive metal, and and not all metal is black metal, and not all black metal murders people. I think that's important for people to know.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it's definitely committing. It's the G.G. Allen of metal, where it's G.G. Allen was so punk rock he died.
I mean, but my feeling with metal, I don't know, because I feel like with a lot of metal fans and a lot of metal, it's like it's about you express this darkness in yourself through the metal,
right,
but not through your fists.
Ideally. Not
Ideally.
through your fists and knives.
This was
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of
This is Norwegian black metal, which was
Right.
it's
we're
a
not
specific beast.
we're not saying they're good people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they're very committed to metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, sorry, the most punk rock death is, I think, the guitarist or lead singer of Dead Boys who was hit by a car and just didn't seek medical attention and then just
died.
woke up dead. That to
Woke
me is
up
the most
dead?
punk rock because it's just the apathy.
Yeah. I can't be bothered.
Yeah. I think he tried to go to the hospital and it was like too long of a line.
The
And it
fucking
was like,
line was really long. I'm gonna go home and
IV
die.
transfusions are the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
I
of.
won't let the man inside
capitalist,
my body.
bruh. So yeah, Lords of Chaos. Watch that movie.
Yeah.
That looks
Final trailer.
final trailer.
Catch-22.
Oh yeah,
Based off the book.
sure. It's a Hulu George Clooney movie.
Yeah, I like George Clooney as a director.
George Clooney. Wait, so George Clooney directed it?
Yep.
Yes.
What else did he do? The Men Who Stare at Goats, or was he just in
I
that?
I think he did. He did Good
that.
Night, Good Luck. He did Monuments Men. He is not doesn't have a good run. But I like him as a director. So giving him a something that's already been written might help.
And he did that one. What was it called? Suburbia. That had like Oscar Isaac and I think Matt Damon in
I
it.
do have a question, which is why are dark comedy war movies always hyper saturated? Or like
I don't
or
know.
like sepia toned.
That is a
and
good
then
point.
I think it's a thing he does a lot. I think
see.
Clooney does it.
Yeah, because it's like, I think it's very selfish. He wants everyone to stare at his eyes. So everything's like shades of tan, except his eyes.
I think it might be his Coen brothers adjacency because they do that a
Oh,
lot.
they love
Yeah.
tan. The Coen brothers, they're all about tan.
Yeah. Oh, he also did Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Different.
He did do that. I saw that being filmed. I think I told you
just
that.
like different shades of taupe and tan,
Taupe.
fawn.
We want everything to look vaguely like canvas.
Yeah.
And then, like, once in a while, just very juicy, hyper saturated blue sky, and then back to tan,
And then beige.
and then tans and beige, and different flavors of sort of a muddy olive.
Very toffee
Yeah.
colors.
It's like
Well, that's
eating
what
a
war
Werther's
is. That's what-
original, the Coen Brothers. It's
Yeah.
like getting a nice. I like
Old
Werther's.
person's
And I'm
caramel.
I'm not saying it's bad. I enjoy a Werther's now and again.
Yeah, I've been known to knock back a few Werthers in my
Yeah.
day. I've never read Catch-22. I have no idea what it's about.
It's like war.
Yeah, I got that.
I read it in high
Yeah.
school and I don't remember it.
I've never read it, but I think there may have been a class I was supposed to have read it and didn't.
And avoid
But
it.
I do remember the discussion about it. I think the idea is that you're in war, and war is bad and kills you sometimes. And so
On
to
occasion,
get out of war, sometimes people try to injure themselves. But like one way to get out of war is by being crazy cocoa bananas. And this guy is like, but the catch is that if you say like, hey, I'm cuckoo crazy bananas, like I want to get out of this war, then they'll be like, haha, but you're sane, because only a sane person would want to leave a war and say they're
you have to be sane to know you're crazy.
right. I think it's kind of like that, and you'd also have to be sane to like have the perspicacity to be like, I'm crazy, please send me home. I think that's the general thing, and I apologize profusely to
never
everyone
apologize.
who's met. I am so sorry. I'm sorry for my vocal fry too. Apparently that pisses some people's off. I'm so sorry.
Wait, you're what?
I'm really sorry you don't like my voice.
It's a bullshit
They
complaint
think I
that
have
women
vocal
get.
fry, which I actually don't have.
You don't. I do.
Right. No, but they
But,
just
you
think
definitely
because
don't.
because my voice isn't like this, that I have vocal fry, but it's not true. And it's because I'm a woman. I'm a woman.
It's true.
Sorry,
What?
that was a
Can confirm.
Sorry,
No.
Dave. Dave doesn't see gender. He
I don't see
literally
gender.
can't
No,
see it.
he doesn't see gender
He's
or
actually
race.
completely
Dave
blind.
is blind.
He can't see anything.
Yeah, a little known fact about me.
So
My eyes have been seared
cut
out
all,
of my skull.
You can cut all of my.
No, I'm
rant
leaving that
right
in
out.
there. I'm leaving that
What
ran in
kind of
there.
what are we up to?
A lot.
What are we clocking
Sorry,
right now?
this is
What are we clocking? Should we skip the stories?
We can go through them.
You do and cut all of the My Gilbert Gottfried.
We're keeping all this in.
We can go fucking long. I don't give a shit.
Keeping all the kid stays in the picture.
This is my calling card is like just inflating podcasts out to like 5 hours.
I'm pro this. We're going to see a movie at 3:45, so I was like, what are we going to do between that time? And now I know.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Listen to me complain.
All right. News stories. The Oscars are giving out awards during commercial breaks. Best cinematography, best editing, best live action short, and best makeup and hairstyling. The Oscars don't
have. They have no idea.
Some of them I can understand, but best live action short, isn't that a pretty important one?
So is best cinematography and best. They're all important.
They're all. Yeah.
It's many people have pointed this out
like
already.
The makeup.
Yeah.
I want to know.
People are angry. There's a backlash. The problem, the Oscars, they just don't understand what people want.
Also, just less bits.
Yeah, do less fucking bits.
Fewer bits, you guys.
Yeah, don't give awards to movies about people fucking fishmen. Like, it's just...
Remember when Seth MacFarlane had a whole bit where he's like, I've seen your boobs. And it was like this whole cutesy little song dance thing about how women in Hollywood had their nudes stolen and spread around, which is a crime. And he's like...
Well, didn't he also mention like Jodie Foster in The Accused?
Yeah.
Oh, was that because that was like a rape
That's
scene?
a rape scene.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And also just gloating about seeing actresses' boobs in movies. It's not cute and it's not funny.
No.
And look, Seth MacFarlane, I just feel, and this is just my opinion, and I feel like he needs to eat some dicks.
Not an entire bag.
No, I mean just some dicks.
A couple of them.
And I'm not, I'm not.
One or two servings.
This is not about sex. I'm not referring a sex act. I'm saying actually consuming dicks like on a plate.
Gobbling it, yeah.
Well, eating them as a meal.
Yeah.
And I think that would be,
Like sauce, pasta
well,
sauce
right.
on them.
And see, the thing is dicks are very high in omega fatty acids, and that will increase his brain intelligence enough for him to not make fun of actresses for seeing their boobs.
Do they sell dick pills? Dick brain pills on InfoWars?
Like where you can eat a dick?
Does Ben Shapiro hawk dick brain pills?
Yeah. They sell the opposite of soy, which is dick. And when you eat dick,
you won't turn into a soy boy.
It actually gives you man brains.
Man brain. Gives you brain man.
I have a girl brain, so I can't say words in order.
Sure.
So yeah, a lot of people already pointed out, but like it's especially weird to show like to cut out cinematography and editing from the show, because those are like the two fundamental parts of the art form.
Yeah.
Like those are the unique parts of film.
Yeah, this is why this is how you get a film and not like just a conscious stream of George Clooney talking
about
hours.
balls.
Yeah. It's just they don't know how to course correct.
No, they have
it's
no
like
idea.
someone being like, "Hey, I don't like your shirt," so they set themselves on fire.
Right.
Yeah,
like it's just,
so they burn their clothes.
It's like, no, that's not what you do.
That's not what we want, man. That's not what we want.
Yeah, like just
like what? Are we even gonna watch?
Here's the thing: I don't mind a 4-hour. I love the Oscars. I used to, at least.
Yeah,
I used to watch all of it. It's like my Super Bowl. Like it's like
right.
And it's that thing where
when are
the
Oscars? We got to get together and watch them.
Yeah, it's like February.
But we're in February.
We are.
Oh, shit.
This is it.
Well, that's the thing is it's like go long. I know it's just everybody in the industry celebrating themselves, but it's like whatever. Every trade has award shows. Mm-hmm. Like it's just the Oscars happen to be one of the few ones that get to televise it and like make it glamorous. But like I don't know, just they're worried about ratings so much, and it's like who gives a shit? Like if the ratings are low, just don't televise
they
it.
They do give a shit because they want money.
I know it's that thing where
they want to have money.
Yeah, it's a trade award show.
It's an interesting suggestion.
Its own that's become its own like economy.
Right. I think the thing that you might be struggling with is like when they see the money, they want to have that for them.
They want all of the money.
It's just dumb. It's like if the Olympics, they're like, oh well, this isn't going. that people aren't watching it, so let's change the sports.
I mean,
or like I don't know. It's
I think that kind of happens a
backwards.
little bit.
Does it?
Well, they get a ton of money from the cities that they go to.
I don't know
It's a whole other. It's
I don't
fucked
watch
for a whole other
sports.
reason.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying they're doing it in the wrong.
Yeah,
the wrong way.
they suck. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's the next story?
Oh, this will be fun. Max Landis is staging a comeback off of his Me Too shit. He's making a feminist action movie.
Could someone remind me who he is and what he did? Because his
Good
name
question.
his name sounds icky to my brain, but I don't remember.
He was in the Cracked Workshop for a while, but he is John Landis's
He's John Landis' son.
He wrote bad movies.
Okay.
What has he written?
He wrote Chronicle, which was his only one that was like
That's not bad.
I
fine.
don't know what that is.
He wrote Victor Frankenstein.
Yeah,
I don't know what those is.
He's a pretty bad screenwriter that
Okay.
kind of I think people are angry at him because he sort of represents like privilege because he's a white guy who's the son of a famous director
Right.
who's just been allowed to keep writing movies, and all of his movies are pretty bad. And him on Twitter, he was kind of a jackass on Twitter.
Okay.
He would come up with a lot of genius ideas, and that's all harmless.
He's a known creep.
Yeah, but that's the
Okay,
part is that
okay.
he's now there's like sexual assault allegations.
Oh, I
And
see,
we
right.
had people that we would work with in Cracked who like knew firsthand, like, oh yeah, he's a
Oh,
creep.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
And that's where it gets bad, and now he's
Staging a
there's-
combak
there's-
from just not being on Twitter for like 7
yeah,
months.
he like dropped off
Well,
Twitter. Now
that's-
he's
I
making
mean,
a
you
feminist
go-
action movie, and it's like, don't do
Oh.
that, bro.
Yes, well, here's the thing, you guys. This is what you're not considering. He was off Twitter for 7 whole months.
Hasn't he been punished enough?
Yeah. When is it going to be enough?
When
Yeah.
is enough enough? When has he been, flogged enough? When will his torture cease?
I don't know, man.
Is my question. Do we not have
Has
mercy?
he not paid his debt?
Do we need a pound of flesh for every sex crime that he's done?
Yeah, it's like it's the same. It was the same thing with Louis C.K. coming back. It's like literally anything. that they
Has
just,
he
like,
not paid enough for his penis crimes?
Right.
Is when will the suffering of not being on stage end? Like, I love that not being famous and not being on stage is a punishment, because then if that's the case, what the fuck did I do wrong?
Right.
Like, I would love to have the exposure. Well, that's a bad word, but I would love to have the exposure that Louis C.K. has, but I don't. So am I? I never even
You
did.
must be some kind of monster.
I never even violated anyone's trust. So
That's what you gotta do. You gotta do that, all of
Yeah.
that, and then
no,
you
I
get
think
on stage.
I think you got to be famous first before you do
It helps if you're a man too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of. Yeah, but
Have you tried that?
I
you
did.
tried?
I did, and I kind of just got hemorrhoids. Didn't really. Yeah.
That's the price.
It's the price you pay.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, I mean, I think, look, I think it's interesting when people are like, well, can't you forgive someone? It's like, yeah, of course. Everyone can be forgiven. Everyone can be redeemed to some extent. Well, not Hitler, but, almost everyone.
He missed his chance.
Almost everyone can be redeemed and forgiven. That doesn't mean they get to make movies about feminism.
Right.
That doesn't mean they get to do that.
Right.
You also have to do anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
You have to ask
You
for
have to
it.
ask for forgiveness before you get it.
Yeah. Any kind of
It's
apology would
kind
be
of like
nice.
it's kind of like, oh, what was that thing recently with that guy who was like, oh yeah, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
You know, that guy, the Taken dude, where it's like, well, when are we gonna forgive him for this? Like, it's been like a week, you
just
guys.
said it.
He just did it, and it's like he wasn't even asking for forgiveness. He was just like, oh, I'm not racist, but once I wanted to kill black guys.
Once I wanted to commit a literal hate crime.
That's the thing is, had that interview been him like talking really shamefully about something he
right.
felt and been like, I learned from this. That's not what. At
Yeah.
least, is there a audio of that? 'Cause
Oh yeah.
Well, he
I
has.
haven't. Okay.
He has an awareness that what he wanted to do is wrong because he understands murder is wrong, but the racial element of it, he seemed to not understand.
Yeah.
That
and
was
he
what was
also
so weird.
he also was just like, I'm totally not racist, and it's like, you don't lead a story with that. You go like, I almost did this extremely racist thing, and ashamed that I would be in that kind of hateful mindset.
Yeah.
But no, he's just like, look, this isn't about race. It's about me wanting to murder black guys.
There's also just, I mean, I feel like we're beyond this now, but anytime someone says I'm not racist,
Well, it's
it's just like, oh, but he said he's not racist.
Well,
because
it's
I also
kinda
believe
like-
that everybody has some level of racism or prejudice, or
Right.
like that's it's kind of a thing,
it's kind of like,
and it's like recognizing it, and like that's
We're
the
getting
thing.
very far afield.
it's kind of like,
really
but
are.
I'm going to go further afield. Ladies, it's sort of like when you're dating and the guy is like, I'm not a bad dude. And then
Yeah.
then you know he's
They have to say it, yeah,
right.
If you have to say it, it's like,
yeah, because
Right.
just do.
What were we talking about?
it would be like
Max
if
Landis, which
Max
we're in
Landis.
the, in the
Landis.
ballpark.
No,
We're in the area.
We loop back around.
he's trash. You can look it up. There's plenty of people who have.
What's his feminist movie about?
It's a feminist action film, which just sounds.
That's
There's,
Yeah.
I mean,
is
that
it one of
means
those
nothing.
things where it's like it's feminist because the woman's doing the things that men
I
usually
probably.
do in the
honestly
movie?
think
Yes.
it's probably feminist in the sense
I'm
because
very
that's the
tired
art.
of
That's
that.
not him. That's the article saying
Right.
it, and it might be that thing where it's like it's just a movie with women in
Yeah.
it, and it's like it's feminist.
I'm
It's like,
very
no.
tired of the whole thing where it's like it's essentially a role written for a man, but you just swap it out with a lady. And it's just like, but then she's extra tough, and she's like, you're like, I shoot people with my gun, and,
Right.
I don't feel.
They do say that.
Am I late for the party? And there's no party, and it's just shooting guns.
Right. They meant that ironically.
That doesn't make a movie feminist. It's
Yes.
fine to do that if you want, but it's not,
Yeah,
it's not.
it doesn't make a movie feminist as much as like a movie, an action movie with a guy is like pro dude or something. You know what I
Right.
mean?
The
Like it's
problem-
just we should. It's that thing where if a character can be either gender, it's like we
Right.
should consider and cast based off that.
Right. It's not so
it's-
much. It's that. I mean, like, I think that I just have a problem with sort of like that kind of toxic violence in movie where it's like, I don't care who I shoot,
Right.
as long as I shoot him with this gun that I like. It's kind of. I don't enjoy that. So when someone like has a lady saying those lines and they're like, "Aren't you happy, feminists?" It's like, well, no. I mean, it's still. It's like you can have your John Wicks. You can do that, but like,
Yeah, it's your John Wicks over there.
got your John Wicks.
Get
you
your
got-
John Wicks up in
You
there.
know,
You
but
know.
like, I mean, it's just don't sell that to me as like some positive social message.
No,
It's
yeah,
not.
it's
just like,
it's like being like we have a woman doctor. Isn't that progressive feminism? Like, well,
I would
no.
even object to
It's
that.
just kind of like
right.
a job, a
I
person
would
with a job.
Object to that less than like where it's just this like urge to be like, we're not going to change our little formula for movies where it's like some badass person shooting a bunch of people we're not supposed to empathize with. It's just like, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's good to include women in movies,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't.
So you're going on record saying it's include women.
But
in
yeah,
movies.
but like I see what you're saying.
I
It doesn't
am.
automatically make it a statement
No.
about feminism or
doesn't.
female
Unless the
empowerment.
movie is somehow about that. But
Yeah.
it's not automatically.
And a good example of that done well is Mad Max, because it did have an interesting social message, and it wasn't like the characters' motivations made sense, and like
Right.
they were doing stuff and sometimes morally complicated, and they weren't like Mary Sue's, they weren't like perfect, they were interesting, complicated characters, and they were badass, but in a way that's sort of human, and so like that felt, and still like an action hero, still doing like
Right.
I mean, they had a guy like playing a guitar on a big
That's a perfect
car
movie.
made
It's
out
a perfect
of
film.
blades. It was amazing.
perfect film.
It was a great film. And then I felt like that was great because you weren't ignoring the gender aspect. There were women in sexual slavery, so you weren't just like pretending that in this future there wouldn't be abuses towards women. But then the Charlize Theron character her femininity wasn't really part of her identity in terms of like being her core definition, but it did influence her. She had this sort of like, she understood that women aren't just baby machines. And so she's like, I want to save the women because I am also a woman. And I know that they're not just baby machines. So like that was, and that's really, I thought it was good. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
And
great movie.
I like any movie with cars with blades on them.
Blade cars, knife cars.
Knife cars.
Get some knife cars up in there.
I like a good knife car.
All right.
Next one is Nickelodeon is in negotiations for a Star Trek animated series.
Well,
Sure. There was one in the 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it is
they tried
hilarious.
this, didn't
yeah. All right. I mean,
Sure.
I'm good with it. I am excited for the aliens to just look like Garfields.
Yeah,
they?
to just be
They
insane.
better.
Like they're gonna have what's his name, Neelix on, and he's just gonna be a Garfield, and he's gonna be like, I'm a
You think they're going to have Neelix on?
I run the space bar.
Oh man.
Oh shit! All right, I'm pivoting off of that because I don't have anything to say about it.
I got nothing.
Garfield running the space bar. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the show we need.
This next one I don't have much to say either about. Kung Fu Hustle 2 is confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest.
Was that the one where they dubbed over some old movies? Or?
No,
That's Kung Pao.
This one is like the Shaolin Soccer. Was that what it was called?
Yeah, he did.
The guy did as well. I have my only story about Kung Fu Hustle.
Soccer.
Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle was good. It was very stylized and unique. I think I've told the story on stream before. I was going to film school at the time this movie came out.
Oh, you went to film school.
And-
Okay. Sorry.
Shut up, Harvard.
No, when it came out that week,
I didn't mean for that to sound so.
We just attacked each other all of a sudden for no reason.
I meant to do sort of the fake that, like whenever you're like my wife and you go like my wife,
My wife.
but it
Not
just
Fimsky.
came out.
I mean,
it just came out
I
extremely vicious.
you
like
didn't put.
how
I wasn't. I
dare
didn't
you
feel
study
personally
the
attacked
arts?
by it.
How dare you follow your passion? Because I forgot that people actually genuinely get attacked for going to
Do they?
Yeah.
I mean,
because,
as someone who went to film school, I will say it's don't go to film school unless you're going to the best film school. You don't need to go to film
just
school.
have a backup plan.
But I guess my story was that when this came out, every teacher wanted to show it to us. And I had a week where the teacher was like, look, we got a slow day. Let's watch Kung Fu Hustle. And we'd be like, yeah, we watched it in another class. And they're like, really? It's like, yeah, well, the teacher went on a rant about it and showed it. And they were like, I'm just going to show it again. And they would put it on and rant about it. And we got 3 viewings of Kung Fu
In a
Hustle.
row?
Went to good film school. When I told that story to Abe, he's like, why were you watching movies in class? And so because of that, I'm so sick of this movie.
Sure.
But it's fine. Should we move to the next one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin Jones Dune.
The Dune movie looks crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wailing ass Toto soundtrack.
I love it.
So psyched.
Pretty
I
sweet.
love
Josh
that
Brolin's
Toto.
playing the Patrick Stewart character.
Yeah.
Oh.
It takes so much
Pretty
acid.
sick.
And see this.
Oh man, it's gonna be great.
Oh man, I love this. When my brother and I were little kids, we used to watch that movie we couldn't understand it. We were too young.
It's
That's not
I
something-
had the same.
Yeah,
my
you-
mom loved this movie. She had a recorded
Yeah.
copy of it off of HBO, and I had the same experience.
But I was just I was fascinated by it because they have a brain in a jar and a Dooku explodes.
Mhm.
It's a trip, and I'm just worried the new movie will not recapture because it's impossible for it to because I can't be 4 years old again and mystified by sandworms. It
Yeah.
can't happen. So any expectation for me to recapture that feeling of just what is this thing happening in my brain of
Right.
sandworms and his eyes are so blue and what's going
They're
on?
crazy blue.
I just don't know if that'll happen again for me, but it could be good.
Yeah, I mean,
the
I
cast
trust the
is shaping
director.
up pretty well.
Yeah.
It's Denis Villeneuve, who's
Yeah.
a great director. He's saying it might even be split into 2 parts.
Oh.
It probably should be because the other option is a 3.5 hour film. So
Just get David. I want him
I
to
don't know
get.
if I can have that much Dune in one sitting.
I want him to get David Lynch back to play the same cameo he played.
So good.
The Spice Miner.
I will miss. What's his name as playing the main guy.
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan. I will.
He should get a cameo in it
I'll
too.
watch anything he's in. He's amazing.
Oh, he's great.
Him and Sting should both have cameos.
Yeah. All right. Final story. There's an animated Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming.
Boo.
Sure. Boo, huh?
I got two very different reactions. Just
I mean,
sure. Why not?
I don't
they make
care.
everything animated.
It's,
with it
it's
comes to this shit.
fine. If you want your turtles and your Batmans to fight, it's fine.
Right. It's just like me smashing my action figures together. That's
Yeah.
fine.
I hope Batman just murders them all.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You know what Batman is famous for doing.
Yeah.
I kind of want the opposite. I want the mutant
Ninjas.
because like Batman's just a rich boy with
That's
little
true.
pointy. Like he made his logo into weapons. He's
he's very
like
brand
He's
conscious.
the Howard Schultz of superheroes, and I want him to get his face stomped in by angry, foaming at the mouth, disgusting turtle people.
That would be pretty
Rebellious
cool.
teenage turtles.
just rip like in the first 5 minutes of the show, he gets ripped in half, and the turtles eat his insides.
Yeah. And they're all confused sexually because they're going through puberty because
Yeah.
they're teenagers.
Right,
Turtle
right.
puberty.
So they're just in different corners of the
Right.
sewer angrily masturbating
right, while eating chunks of Batman
on their pizza.
on their pizza.
They put it on the
Oh,
pizza.
man.
Yeah.
Party, dude!
All right. I think we nailed that
I
movie.
think we got it. That's the movie.
I do, yeah.
All right. You have a movie that deserves more hype,
I
Dave?
do have a movie that deserves more hype, you guys. This is coming out April of 2019.
Wait, let me guess. Is it Battle Angel?
No.
No. It is not that, Angel.
This is called Her Smell. It has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 83%. I highly suggest people watch the trailer. It
It's
stars.
a weird trailer.
It is a weird trailer. It's a weird movie.
just like a
the
scene.
trailer is a single shot.
No, it cuts,
Oh, it
but
does cut?
it's a pretty long continuous take.
It's Elizabeth Moss playing, who is great, who we don't see enough of. She is playing a punk rock singer that's like trying to make a new album, who's sort of burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
It also stars Amber Heard, Virginia Madison, Dan Stevens, and of course Eric Stoltz. Everybody, Eric Stoltz.
Eric
I like all
Stoltz
these
slid into
people.
that trailer like I wouldn't notice him.
I watched the trailer for this, and I felt like she was doing a really good job. It was really, I liked how, I don't know, it was just kind of, it got me really interested, and I kind of like the trailer. I'm tired of trailers that just sort of, they're like, lay out the entire plot for you.
Yeah.
And this did because like some trailers are too generic, like the one for Aladdin where it's like, here's the tiger and we spent so much time on this tiger, you guys. And then some of them, but like lay out the whole plot. But this one is just like, look, here's this actress. She's really good. This is a scene with no context.
Yeah.
But you are interested in it because it's like, what is she talking about? What's she doing? She and you get the sense that from what she's saying, the kind of crazy monologue she's doing and everyone's reactions, you can tell like she's not. There's something off about it. It gave me the vibes of that. What's that movie? Oh God, it's the one. Oh, fuck.
Describe it.
Mustache.
Okay, so it's this
mustache.
older couple with this famous actress, and they invite a younger couple over. It's the husband's a professor. They invite that younger couple
Who's Afraid
over.
of Virginia Woolf?
Yes.
I got big Who's Afraid of Virginia.
Yes.
I love Who's Afraid of Virginia
It's
Woolf.
great. And then
Shot in Smith College,
who's that actress?
Massachusetts.
That's not. Who's that?
I fucking
Elizabeth
forget.
Taylor, isn't it?
Elizabeth
Is it?
Taylor,
Yeah.
right?
I think.
Maybe.
That's a great fucking movie.
It's
I
really
love
good.
movies like that. Even though it's directed by Roman Polanski, the movie Carnage also has that. Anytime it's a bunch of people in a room and it gets really intense.
Yeah. Like that cap, like that's kind of something that I like about movies is its ability to explore the most socially awkward possibilities without actually having to be there.
Yeah.
And this is made up of only 5 scenes, this movie, that take place over 10 years. It's like vignettes. It's like 5 scenes that take place in, I think, one location over the years. So it's very much Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf takes place in, I think, 3 locations. There's the bar they go to, the house, and their yard. I think that's it.
I like that Elizabeth Moss is kind of, she's, again, like, breaking out of that typecast of, like, she's not, it's sort of like in Mad Men and
what else has she
Handmaid's
done?
Tale.
Handmaid's Tale are both sort of,
and of course,
similar-ish.
Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
Well, they're sort of, Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men are similar in that it's this idea of, like, women being put in their place.
Yeah.
And I like, and I mean, like, they're great,
Yeah.
They explore it from a really interesting way, and obviously Handmaid's Tale is great, but I do like that she just gets to be a punk rocker
Right.
who's
Yeah.
like like her pinky nails longer than the other one.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just got constant bumps of cocaine, and she's crazy and wild and out of control, and I think that's great. Like, she seems to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
And I like, from what I've heard of the plot, is that she's just generally like the villain. So I really like that aspect of her just being just a terrible person. So everybody check out Her Smell. April
Check
this
out
year.
Her Smell.
Check out Her Smell.
Yeah, a lot of the reviews were like, you instantly know the title Her Smell is not a positive thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
I don't know. I feel
she's
like
stinky.
sweat mixed with vomit can be actually quite nice.
Very aromatic.
In context.
It's a plug-in scent.
I mean, in the context of the time.
All right, we have gone very long.
How long? What are we
Sorry.
clocking?
An hour 45.
Wow.
Don't cut it.
I'm not cutting a fucking thing. That's an episode.
That's more than an episode.
That's several episodes.
I am going to fucking wreck your podcast.
Fucking hour 45. This is our record, right?
Yeah, it might be. We might have hit that with Ganser.
You invited me into your home, and like a time vampire, I have ravaged you.
Drained it. Katie, thank you so much for doing the show.
Of course.
And what do you want to plug? Where can we find it?
Creature Feature. I'm working on season 2. It's happening.
Yay.
But if you haven't listened to season 1, please do so. You can find it in the iTunes podcast, whatchamacallit. It's called Creature Feature. It's also in the iHeartRadio app. I'm supposed to say that to everyone. People on the streets.
Just stop random people.
iHeartRadio app. And you can check me out on Twitter at ProBirdRights, also at Katie Goldin. And please, pay attention to me.
Do it. Everybody do it.
Mastiff!
Yeah.
My beans!
Look at me and my beans.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
You know the drill for Dave and I.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/GameFeelUnemployed. You can support us and check out some of our exclusive podcasts. We got a store at tpublic.com/stores/GameFeelUnemployed. Thank you for burping during our plug. And
Gross.
we're going to get the hell out of
Okay,
here.
bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.